The venture to have a koi pond started a long time ago after seeing some cool koi ponds around the world. Wanted to see if I could set one up. So I decided to build a small one in place of a flower bed. Got some old wood and started making a koi pond that was about 16 feet long, 2 feet wide, and about 2 feet deep. Um, Once I put it together, I decided to put some covers on it, um, initially to prevent things from falling in the pond. Here you can see me happy about completing the first step and filming what I had done so far. The next step was to add the pond liner and fill it with water. Decided to make it aquaponics, except I wasn't going to eat the fish, so I could grow plants using the fish waste. I used clay pebbles to grow as a medium to grow the food, and I created a bell siphon after researching. So the pump would pump water to the plants, and then it would drain every so often. You can see the nice plants that is growing, and here's the initial setup, filming the water flow, and me feeding the tiny little koi. I think at this point they were around 5 inches. It says the water was so shallow, really it was maybe a foot and a half on the deep end. So it wasn't a very big pond. It was very long, so the fish could go very far, but for the size of the fish. At this point I could hand feed them, they weren't nervous, and I did lose some of the koi as they got bigger. The pond was too small. From that original group, 9 koi survived, and they have grown to a very large size in a few years. Here I'm showing, I'm clearing the area, taking down trees, clearing things as necessary. It took quite a bit because of the trees. There were several trees in the way. The root system was very big. Here I have an initial dig to see where to put the pond. Decided to keep going and keep digging and keep cutting roots and keep digging, and decided to put a 2-foot cement border all around with an area where the filtering would happen. This gives you an idea. The area ended up being around 14 feet long. Here I'm laying out where the bridge would go initially. I was thinking how to set up the deck. Here I rolled some liner, and I used landscaping cloth. Here you can see the 4-inch drain, and here it is before the rubber liner, which was not easy because it was plasticky. Here you can see the mess that it is to try and stretch it out in a confined area. It's plasticky and rubbery at the same time. I kept working at it and finally got it stretched out, and it started looking more like the real deal. Here I'm showing the liner before I put sealant between the drain and the actual rubber liner. Here you can see it has an air bubbler, which is nice. It helps bring everything down towards it. The slope is really nice. really does seem like a pool. Here's the initial water. Took forever to fill up. Here you can see the ledges. I'm putting wood so that I wanted it to be over the water so you can walk up to the koi and stare right down. And that was the idea of the bridge. Here you can see the initial setup. Here's part of the bridge. By testing the bog filter, I had the drain goes into the other 100-gallon tank, and here 24-volt pumps towards the bog filter. Here's me trimming around and setting things up. I decided to keep going with the deck towards the right, underneath a set of solar panels. Here you can see me continue to test. Here you can see the old pond versus the new pond. 200 gallons versus around 1600 gallons. Here you can see a different view of where the deck's going to continue, and the idea of how I'm going to set up. I used 4x4s on the ground and then tied them together, left enough space where I could screw. Basically it was almost like creating a 4x4 with two by 4s. Here's me showing using Tapcon screws to screw it into the cement. There in the background you can see where all the electricity is. Here you can see I'm putting rubber liner on top of the wood, so at least the water doesn't sit on the wood that's over the pond. Here I'm showing the continuation. In the background you can see the electricity for both the pump and both pumps, air pump and the actual pump for the drain. And here I'm just showing that is really low deck. It's not very high, but as you go back it does come up almost a foot off the ground. Since there was an angle from the pole going backwards, so I had to kind of build it up so at least the deck would be level. Here I'm showing it almost completed, and you get a better idea of where you can set the outdoor furniture, and here's more of a completed idea. I'm still not finished with the pond. It still needs more work, but I got it pretty much working. I got the bog filter, the drain is working very well. The 24-volt pump works very well for this size pond. It's able not only to bring up the particles, but it's pushing 2 waterfalls. And I think it was, from what I saw, I bought it on Amazon, it was meant for aquariums. But it is very nice. It has a controller, it has a wave function. I think it's at 220 and one said 110, or you can go all the way to 100. Here you can see more of a nicer, here I think I'm sitting down so you can get an idea of what you would see. And I'm putting lights in the background so at night you can come out. Here you can see it from a different angle. I'm showing, I believe I'm about to show you what the overflow tank is, where the drainage is gonna go. Basically I have this lid and UV light also on top of everything else, and it's a 100-gallon tank. And that's it. That's basically the setup. And right now I've been having it running maybe 6 months, and it's been doing pretty well. I continue working on the deck and finished some things up and started working on a pump house, which is more finished today. I need to work on that walkway by the fence, but at the moment, at least it's looking pretty good. Now it has a pump housing, and I have things more tucked in and more hidden. You can still hear the air pump when it is on. Maybe I can put some insulation somehow. I did leave it kind of open so air can get through the area. But it's starting to really look more completed. I need to work on the solar panel array above it. I have a couple of solar panels that I was thinking of using as a backup for the 24-volt pump. Finally, time to relax. Check out the koi. They seem very happy. I named one of them Big O for Big Orange. They have grown quite a bit. I think the biggest one is over 20 inches easily. It doesn't look it, but it is. When you get up close, you can see the size of it is quite large. Here you can see them enjoying themselves. They do a lot of acrobatics during the summer. And right now they look pretty peaceful. Well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed and subscribe, and we'll see what else we have up and coming.